Welcome back, everybody. Playing should be a rite of passage for every child, but for parents of children with autism, dealing with social activities can be one of the biggest challenges. April is National Autism Awareness Month. Please welcome Carrie Carver from Autism Speaks, along with Franz Delakia from Pump It Up. Hello. Autism is kind of this umbrella, if you will, of certain behaviors, certain traits that we really can't quite define, but as best as you can, define it for us.
Well, I could give you the medical definition, but as a mom first, it's kind of like thinking about that big box of crayons, the 64-pack. No two are alike. Right. They're all just a little different shade. And autism is really the umbrella for everything else that they can't put into another category. You have everything from the non-verbal to the very high-functioning, living everyday lives, just some struggles that they have to overcome socially.
Yeah, and it's tough. We have Nikki Hochler and Corey Remley. Both have children with autism as well. And it is so difficult because you have this baby, and then things start to change, and you're left on your own in many ways to figure it out. So what are some of the things that you've had to deal with just in terms of getting your children in school and just you're constantly on top of it?
You're always your child's advocate. You're the one that's going to push for your child and make sure that they get what they need and what's required for them specifically. And for most moms, it's going outside the box and thinking of things that would be completely different from anything else that most people would look at.
Yeah. When did you first notice that something was different with your child?
Oh, I think at age 1, it was just a big regression for him. Some children have obvious traits or lack thereof.
Well, we have the stereotype of the child sitting in the corner rocking back and forth, you know, and sometimes that can be the case, but sometimes it's not quite as obvious.
No, my son was actually developing normally, and about age 1, it was like a regression. It was almost as if he went into a funk and slowed down, and I mean, we knew immediately, but there was a 1.5-year wait list to get the official diagnosis from Texas Children's, but we knew. So we started intervention really early.
Carrie, do we know what causes it? I know there's been lots of thoughts out there.
But that's the wonderful thing about Autism Speaks, and also you were talking about tools. Autism Speaks has both English and Spanish, a 100-day kit. And it's what parents should look for and do to navigate that first 100 days of diagnosis. And it's very helpful. And again, we have that in English and Spanish on there. Yeah. Autism Speaks funds raises for medical and research grants. So we are doing everything we can to find the missing piece, which is the cause and the cure, and provide those medical grants so that we can hopefully someday have a definitive cause and a definitive cure.
Yeah, I think every parent, when you have a child in a social situation, you cross your fingers that things will go well.
You do. Every day, and every day is a new day.
Yeah.
One day it's fabulous, and they're having a wonderful day, and they're outgoing and they're social, and the next day it's meltdown.
So it's really, I would imagine, a godsend to find a place like Pump It Up, Houston, where you all cater to children who might be dealing with autism, and you're aware of certain things that might set them off and certain things that might calm them.
Yes. We have a program once a month in different Pump It Ups where kids can be kids. Yeah. You know, it's a safe and controlled environment for them to come and play. They come with their parents. We do have assistance if needed, but we are very flexible. We are aware of the wide spectrum, and some kids like engaging, some kids don't. So we just let it be. We turn off the music. We don't use the whistles. We are, just let them be, you know, jumping here and there.
Yeah, and this is a great place where you now can have the birthday parties. You can take your kids and not be afraid, because all the kids are going wild in there, whether, you know, autism or not. And so they can have a joyous experience. Because I would imagine for you as moms, one of the things that you don't want your child to miss out on is, again, that rite of passage to be able to play.
Definitely. The one good thing about Pump It Up that we found was that when you go there, you're in a secluded area basically for your group, so you're not having to have your child figure out the strangers that are in the area and figure out what's going on with them. So it's a much better environment for them completely.
Yeah, because when I take my son there, I know that he can never be too loud or too rambunctious, and he can't hurt himself because it's all bouncy in the whole bit. All right, so Autism Speaks is a resource for people who...
It's a nonprofit organization that was started by two grandparents of an autistic boy, Susan and Bob Wright. And they started it, like I said, with the goal in mind to find a cure. And we fundraise beginning in April with the Autism Month, and we build up to October, which is going to be our 7th annual Houston Walk. We're very proud. It's always held in October. We don't have an exact date yet because we're at the mercy of the Texans schedule.
We'll have to have you all back again. And in closing, I would just like to say, in memory of Jane Stewart, who started the Westview School several years ago in her home, I think over 30 years ago, in her home with 4 students because she knew that they weren't getting the care that they needed elsewhere. She passed away a few months ago, but we just held the gala for the Westview School a couple of weeks ago. I want to say good morning to all the folks who are out there for making her legacy carry on. So thank you all very much for the work that you do in a perfectly good parent. And thank you for helping the kids get to play. For more information, you can log on to greatdayhouston.com.